Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We're back. Oh, I have the Twitch channel open in another window because I was checking that everything was working, and my own voice just jump scared me in the back of my ear from the delay. So let's try that again. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Uh, Obviously, no childhood nightmares tonight. We finished that a couple weeks ago. You all are here for something very, very special, and that is a one shot of the Cunning Folk. If you were around for Childhood Nightmares, you know Emily that played Charlie. This is Emily's game that she designed, and it had a very successful Kickstarter. It closed today, and so I thought, what better way to celebrate the successful Kickstarter that Emily had and all of the hard work that she put in than to invite a few of my friends to come play the Cunning Folk and to see what we could maybe get up to. And I'm even going to be able to give away a copy of the game. Emily texted me this morning, was like, "Do you want a copy giveaway, like a PDF?" And I was like, "Yes, I would love one. Let's go." So thanks for coming to tune in. We have some very fun new faces here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves first. Then I'll get into how the game is played. We'll do like a little explanation, and then we'll get into it. Spoiler alert, I let them design the offender instead of me. And gosh, we're gonna have a good time. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I'm gonna make Heather go first. So, Heather, please introduce yourself, where people can find you, and go ahead and save your character for a minute. Your character's name is like rotating underneath you, but we'll save their description for a little bit.
Sounds good. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm Heather Silva, she, her pronouns. You can find me online at Worlds for All, the number four. That's the professional game facilitation company that I own and run. We play mostly in person, but getting started online and specialize in creating safer and more inclusive spaces. So, really excited to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, DJ, your turn.
Hi, everyone. I'm DJ. I use any pronouns. And you can find me at Castle Rights, literally everywhere that you find yourself on social media. If I'm not here guesting on shows, I'm producing my own actual play. You can find me at Hit Point Hall on YouTube or on Instagram. You can watch all of our past seasons on YouTube as well. And I'll be playing Darla today.
It's gonna be so fun. And then Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess Prince. You can find me on all the socials as Miss Prince, please, because that's what I do. I play different games, I play different roles. I also just like to make my life all about enjoyment and play and relaxation and healing. And I'm so excited to be here and play this super fun game with you guys today. And I know that I'm the new face, but I think that it's going to be like we've all been playing for years together already, because last night was so fun and I can't wait for you to meet all of their characters. But my character's name is Mushnug. And that's my deal.
Let me tell you, when we got together for session 0 last night and you all were immediately like, so these characters, right? This is what we're doing. And I was like, all right, this ought to be a fun couple of hours. Let's go. I've been ready all day long. So, to show just how easy the Cunning Folk is to put together a game of very quickly, we met last night, less than 24 hours ago. These three made their characters, and I heard what the offender was going to be for the very first time. In the book, it says, like, normally the storyteller would pick the offender. I just thought it'd be really fun to give them a shot at it because there were so many directions we could go, and I wanted to know what they wanted. So we went with a modern day, and I think what I have interpreted it to is maybe very, let's just say, good for what we need in the world right now. Something like that. But a quick explanation of how the Cunning Folk is played at all. So these three are the Cunning Folk, the invisible little creatures that are in all of your favorite folk tales and things. And they are here to mess with their offender that they created, somebody that has slighted the Cunning Folk some way, somehow, and they are here to seek their revenge. They are all starting as level 1 characters, which means they get 1d6 in their pool. They can tell me any sort of action that they would like to do. and they will then roll for it based on the number of successes that I ask them for. They can level up and down all during the game. So it is not that they will be stuck at level 1 this whole night. They could go as far up as level 5, which is the max that you can beat in this game, and you get 1d6 per level you are. So they could go up to 5 d6 in their dice pool. So they also have the ability to fail. Failing will give them luck. Success gets them exactly what they asked for, and over success means they got everything they asked for plus a little bit more, and that they were seen, which means they have to go back down a level. So that's like the long and short of it, the quickest way I can explain, but you'll see it all in action, and if you have any questions along the way, you can just pop them in chat, and we'll figure it out then. So with that, you 3 decided what you would like is that you all live in a little bakery. So, in this very small town that's kind of right next to a big city, one of those ones where you drive maybe 15 minutes and you're in the heart of the city, but right outside of it is a small bakery called Smell the Flowers. And you 3 have been there for kind of as long as you can remember. Just living among the bakers, sleeping in the pastry dough at night. It's not like you're bothering it or anything. Nobody's ever going to notice. Nobody ever knows you're even there. But this particular day, something a little sour happens. And as we key up to meet our offender, Heather, I would really love if you would describe Trica to everybody.
Sure. So I will be playing Triga. Currently, Triga is about a foot tall at our level 1 of size. And Triga is such an interesting character because really the only people who ever get to see what she looks like as the trickster are their fellow Cunning Folk. Triga is kind of a small, like assembled from sticks, literal stick figure. um, and I am the trickster of the group. So I use my cunning, and I often offer people things they want, but usually with a price. To everybody else, though, I tend to look like whatever they most desire. So yeah, that's Triga.
Yeah. So, Triga, you wake up on this morning. The bakers start to come in at like 4 o'clock or something. They're getting everything ready for the day, starting to bake, muffins and croissants and all of these lovely things. And as you watch their feet sort of hurry about the kitchen, one of your friends wakes up next to you. And Deejay, if you would not mind to describe Darla for us, I would love that.
Absolutely. Darla, in her very smallest form, is in fact a literal ball of light. The way that I would describe it for folks that don't necessarily see the Cunning Folk to the naked eye, is kind of like that glint in your eye that you kind of get in passing, seeing something interesting, but not entirely putting your full attention to it. And I think she kind of wakes up next to Triga?
Yeah.
I want to pronounce it right. Okay.
Triga.
Triga. And just as like a nice little like yawn, and in the yawn it's like little like fire crack sparkles as she like yawns and gets up.
I love that. And you watch beside Triga as the feet sort of bustle about. You all have sort of made this little home underneath one of the prep tables, one that just never gets swept under somehow, some way. So all of the little bits and bobs that collect on the kitchen floor somehow make their way down there, which is really the happiest place on earth for your last friend. So Jess, if you would not mind describing Mushnug for everybody, I would love that.
Yes. Mushnug is probably not really awake yet because Mushnuggers like to sleep in a lot because Mushnug is really just sort of a sleepy big ball of lint in this form, and is sometimes mistaken for perhaps a hairball or even a soot sprite, but a little bit grayer and not nearly as lively. All pronouns are acceptable to Mushnug. but she, her are most often used, as is the same for me, the performer Jess. I think I forgot to say that. But Mushnug is just here to kind of like collect all the really good dust that comes from being in a bakery. It's one of the best places for dust because you get flour, but then you also get all the dust from the patrons coming in, and it's a great combo. So I'm this is the corner spot. It's all here, right here in the corner. Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, it all just kind of gets swept underneath here by this one guy that works here. His name's Stevie. He's like in high school, and he comes in really early every morning with the bakers. Will kind of sweep the floor and stuff before he needs to go to school. And he's really not one to fully do his job. It's more a thing of like, how much can I get away with for you to pay me, and then I'll see myself out. And so it's never that the dust and stuff gets picked up in a dustpan and thrown away. It is that it gets shoved underneath this one prep table, which is why Mushnug decided it was the best home for you all to sleep in. And you two sort of just put up with it because you're like, I can sleep anywhere, it's fine. And Mushnug makes you kind of like settle yourself in between all of the dust balls and the lint, hiding out underneath there, because waking up at 4 a.m. has never been your thing. It might be a baker schedule, but it's certainly not the schedule of someone who self-described themselves in session 0 as someone who is against ambition.
This is why I really like Stevie, and if anything, I'm helping him with my magic get away with not working very hard. I'm like, he's got the right idea, that kid.
Mm-hmm. You like absorb up a lot of the dust and stuff, so it never clumps under there enough to where Katie, the owner of the bakery, has ever noticed that it doesn't end up in the trash. It just sort of is that way. And so you all, well, really 2 of you, are up and about to start your day. What do you all want to do first as the bakers continue on? You have maybe 2 hours before they open.
I mean, I feel like I'm usually like up because I thrive off of the energy of other people. And so I feel like kind of a normal routine for Triga in the morning is like as soon as people come in, it's like showtime and dusting all the lint off of me, just in my little invisible form, just kind of parkouring my way around and just like doing vibe checks on everybody, just like how's Stevie, how you doing today? Like I feel like I know all their stories and I just like love absorbing the gossip in the morning.
Absolutely. You've heard all of these people talk about their lives so early every morning. These are kind of the people that they vent to. What more do you have to do for 2 hours every single morning when you have to be up before the sun even shines? And you know that Stevie is in his last year of school and is getting ready to graduate and doesn't really know what he's doing with his life after that because he's just not sure what he wants. And you know that Barbara, who has been here for maybe 40 years at this point, is like older than Katie is. Katie inherited this place from her mom. Barbara has worked here since it opened, and she is just kind of grumpy this early in the morning. Anything said to her is met with a grunt, and it will be until about 8 a.m. And everybody's just sort of used to her not speaking, and that's okay. And you see James, who's kind of the newest little baker, come in, and he's carrying all of these big bowls of dough and handing them over to Barbara, and Barbara just grunts in response and takes another one. And you have not been able to tell yet whether she likes him or really anybody, but it's okay because she's doing her best. She's always been very nice to the kitchen and things overall, which in turn is being nice to you all. So it works out somewhere along the way. But it's just these 4 that are all kind of going about the day, getting everything ready. Like I said, trying to work to fill up all the cases before anybody gets here. Is there anything Darla would like to do this morning before we open up?
Yeah, no, I think Darla is probably sticking to any of like the light sources where the like the pastries would be set up, and kind of just like hoping to keep them well lit so that when people come in, they're really attracted to them and won't go anywhere else, and they spend money and they buy the pastries here. She's worried about the profit margin here in this bakery.
I love that Darla has basically been like, I'm going to take over accounting.
Yes.
Profits?
I don't like
Great.
anyone else here. I'm only gonna worry about this bakery succeeding over anything else on the block, personally.
That's super fair. I feel like as a kid, Katie kind of was attached to Darla in a way that no one ever knew how, because she could never see you,
Mhm.
but like the pastry world was the glint in Katie's eye growing up, and she was so excited to inherit this place from her mom. So you are very invested in helping Katie make this business succeed. And right as uh, kind of we're hitting the 6 o'clock, Mushnug, even in the back, kind of settled in all of your dust and things, you hear the bell over the door, the one that goes off every time someone comes in, and you know it is opening time. And while 6 a.m. isn't the busiest point of the day, it's maybe like 6:30 or 7, you do get a couple people that come in right as you open. And so James rushes out to the front, and he's helping with counter for the day with Katie, while Barbara continues to cook, because like I said, she's not responding to anybody for another couple of hours, so she just simply can't be on counter. Do any of you all, Darla is obviously already up front if helping with lighting the pastry cases, but what would Mushnug and Triga like to be doing in this moment as we meet someone new?
I think Mushnug is initially pretty offended by anybody who walks through the door the second they open. I think that's pretty rude, honestly. So I'm probably gonna like make it so that, you know, they I might like take a couple pennies out of their pocket, so they might be a bit short on something later, you know? Just so that they realize that maybe being an early bird isn't always the best thing.
I love that. That is our very first bout of mischief. So, uh, for those at home, those that have not seen or played the Cunning Folk yet, I will name a number of successes that are needed. You all are right now level 1s, so a level 1 is the best that you can possibly do. But thankfully, picking somebody's pocket is a pretty easy task. It really only needs one success to be successful. So, you are looking for a 4, a 5, or a 6.
A 4, a 5, or a 6. Okay,
Yep.
okay.
4, 5, 6.
Mushnug got a 2. I think I just got some more
Oh,
lint out of this pocket.
I think you did. I think that you like come out and you're doing your thing, you reach into his pocket and you're like, "Oh, great, the change." And then it is just a big bundle of threads that are like extra from his suit pants that have kind of built up in there over the wash. So now you do have a fun little extra piece of lint.
Like thread. And
The
a
little
luck
thread
point.
burrows kind of navy colored and knotted up to add to your collection, but it doesn't quite work. You do gain a point of luck though, so write that down in case you want to use it later.
Yeah. Thank you.
I think if Darla is accounting, Triga is marketing. So
Perfect.
Triga,
Yes.
I think, takes up position like maybe like right in front of the cash register, like amongst all the little goodies that you try to just get people to impulse buy. And I think I make use of my level 1 magic to intuit the deepest desire of anyone I see, and I use that to like whisper like, "Oh, doesn't that coffee smell so good?" and just convince them to buy things in the morning.
I love that, honestly. And that is your level 1 magic, so you do not need any successes for that, correct?
Don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
you just do that when you
maybe
want
for the
to.
whispering, but otherwise, just the intuiting I get for free.
I'm gonna say that for this one, at least you can probably get away with it because you already are in a bakery. James has started the coffee. Everything is smelling really good. Probably fine without a roll. And you all watch as this person is not new to you all, nor is he really new to the bakery. This is Brock Whitehall, and he is, for lack of a better way to put it, a grade A douchebag. He is a jerk and always has been. And every single morning he comes in here and he gets a coffee and a muffin, and then he complains because the coffee's too hot or the muffin's too cold or some other bullshit reason that you complain at a coffee shop at 6 a.m. when everyone is just trying their fucking best. But this guy is the worst. But today, he is the worst like no other. Because as he comes in, like blackberry, like headset in. He's talking to somebody on the phone while he's trying to give an order to James, who looks super flustered because James is normally not the one that takes this man's order. And he is just trying his best as he barks at James. Don't you know my order? Every morning with you people, you're the worst. I just... Hold on, Adam, I have to yell at somebody. And he taps his headset to put his call on mute as he just goes off on James. And he keeps going on about the coffee before Katie just takes one off of the machine, whatever she has already started for him, because he's always the first one in the door anyway, like a grade A dick. And she shoves it in his face. Thank you so much, Brock, for another wonderful morning of great lessons for my employees. They're doing great, and you will be back tomorrow. And Brock stops her before she can move on. I won't be back tomorrow. I mean, I will be back tomorrow, but first I have a cake ready for today. Yeah? Like a whole cake. Please tell me you didn't fuck this up. It's only one of the most important days of my life. And she goes through with this paperwork on a clipboard and goes, yes, your engagement. Sure. Everything will be ready when you send your assistant to get it at noon. So technically you won't be here again today. And I will see you again tomorrow. And I will see your assistant at noon. And he snatches the clipboard away from her, looks through all of her paperwork. Oh, good. Somebody can write. Just make sure you don't misspell Marie, okay? Again, the one most important day of my life. Before he taps his headset again to unmute the call, he goes, yeah, Adam, on for the 10 o'clock meeting. Yeah, my assistant's just got to run out at noon, but it's no big deal. It's just a little something for Marie for dinner tonight. And he takes all of his stuff and he goes. And as he goes, he like slams his hand against the bakery door so it slams back open and then slams it back shut, causing a little crack in the glass.
I don't like him. Nope.
No.
I think we need to have a meeting. A team meeting.
It's so early though. Maybe like in an hour.
Mushnug.
Okay.
This is important.
It is, you're right. No, I know. We don't have time to be wasting. He's so busy and so fast.
And also a douche, I fear. Yeah.
Lucky I didn't have my magic all charged up and ready for him. Otherwise, that would have gone very differently.
Mine is not working yet. I'm still too tired. So someone should do something.
Would you all like to do anything? You can still see him walking down the street out the door.
Oh.
I'm not high enough level.
You're all level 1. You
I
can
was gonna
do lots
say-
of mischief. Anything
Lots
that
of
is not
mischief,
on your
okay.
magic list, if you want to interact with something, if you want to interact with a person, anything like that, all of that is just considered mischief. If you want to use something on your magic list, that is magic. And at level 1, you can do your level 1 thing.
Maybe like you said that he like goes to slam the door twice. Like I don't know if there's a retcon here, but could the door be off? Like could I hold it an extra second so he goes to like push it and it like either like he misses it and stumbles or like hits him in the head?
Oh, I love
that.
that. That's beautiful. And that's just you interacting with the door. The rest is his fault. So I'm going to say that just requires 1 success.
Okay, here we go. That's a 2. The door is really big and heavy.
The door is really big, and you are only a foot tall, and you are made of sticks. So, like, it's a hard life we live out here. But I will say that in your efforts to get him, like, to hold the door or whatever, that it trips him up a little bit because he, like, is trying to force it closed, and it just won't work as well as he wants it to when it slams. So that does at least throw him off his game a little bit. And he feels a little less like a big macho man in this moment, which is beautiful. Please take a luck point and mark it down in case you'd like to use it later.
Can I try? This is gonna sound ambitious.
You do
Probably.
what you want. I believe in you.
You know, like you know the dumb science experiment where like you put the magnifying glass to like a crack of the sun and then it does like the little thing and it goes like, you know, that.
Yes.
So I'm not explaining this very well.
No, I get
Um,
what you're saying. The magnifying glass in the sunlight makes the fire.
mhm.
I'm here with you. One brain
Light.
cell. We got this.
You
Yes.
know? See, I wanna do something similar like that, but to, like, the coffee cup that he's holding, so as he walks away, his coffee is just very slowly dripping out, so he has no coffee when he gets to work. I wanna be mean.
I love that. Yeah, I'm gonna say that that's you using yourself as the light, and there's plenty of glass here because there's so many bakery like display cases. I'm gonna give you that for one success. I think that's great. Sure, I reward things here. I'm a fun GM, damn it, and I want to see this man lose all his coffee.
I do too, that's a 4.
Yes, that's a success. So you all watch as Darla kind of like you kind of bob and weave out through the different parts of the display case, getting over to the window fast enough that as this man is getting ready to leave, you burn a little hole in his coffee. I'm going to let you pick. Is it the side of the cup that's closest to him so it will drip on
Yes.
his suit? Or is it the side that's farthest away so he never suspects that it's dripping?
I think it's probably so innocuous enough, like, so tiny that, like, even if it is dripping on his suit, he won't, like, notice it until there's already enough damage on it. So by the time he gets to his car and, like, half his coffee is gone, he's like, "What the fuck?" And, like, half the coffee's gone.
So Darla levels up to level 2. You now have 2d6 in your dice pool. And this very tiny hole that is now in the Smell the Flowers coffee cup is just burrowed, and you see a single drop, and then a drop, and then a drop, and a drop as it starts to go down his suit jacket and his pants leg. Now he's wearing a navy suit today because he has a big presentation to give, and this man thinks navy is his power color. Yes, I want him to sound awful. That's just who he is as a person. And so he doesn't notice as like the little tiny blots of stain are just dark enough to where you can tell on this navy suit that something is off because he wasn't lucky enough to choose to wear black today. And it's beautiful.
See, Mushnug, that's the energy we need to be channeling today. Well done, sister. Well done.
Yes.
Thank you. And she's like jumping around, like you know, she's a little tiny little light. She just kind of like hops up and down in like victory, in like a far off corner.
It's very impressive. I'm very proud of you. Thank you so much.
I love Darla so
I
much.
love her so much. She's everything
That was
to me,
such a
actually.
good move. She's everything to me. I love that.
She's an accountant and a scientist.
Correct. And you know what? You can be both.
Yeah.
You can be anything you want to be. As long as you're not a Brock Whitehall of this world, you can be anything you want to be. There's the lesson.
Even dust.
Even dust.
Now about this cake.
About this cake. You all see as more customers start to kind of trickle in, but they're all being very kind and nice for 6:15, 6:30 a.m. getting their respective coffees and their scones and all of that. You watch as Barbara takes out of the freezer a heart-shaped cake that has been frosted the night before, and she's getting ready to do all of the piping on it for the words. It's a white cake with a very fancy border, pretty big, and the piping bags that she has next to it are pink and red. Do with that what you will as Barbara walks away to go grab some sprinkles and whatnot for the cake decorations.
Oh. Is pink really the color this season, or is it gray?
It's true.
This is a fine line because I don't want Barbs to get in trouble.
Oh, this is true.
This is right.
What if it's like a flavor thing, perhaps, or something that will go unnoticed at first?
Oh.
Mushnug, do you have any foul-smelling things in your bag?
I mean, I could get some. I got a bunch of options. I just gotta do a little bit of work. I gotta find a couple of things, like couple of leaves. I could get some leaves from the plants here, right? That's the thing. I could sprout myself up and down a little bit and get yeah. So Mushnug's archetype is elemental, and so she has a bit of an affinity for plants. And her automatic spell that she can do is sprout up. Nope, just sprout. It's
Yeah,
called sprout.
just sprout.
So
I believe that lets
Mushnug,
you teleport wherever you would like to go.
Yeah,
So do you want to
yeah.
go get something
yeah,
horrific?
yeah. Well, yeah. Mushnug is gonna use sprout to kind of jump around and find some really good gooey leaves that have been sort of stuck to the bottom of maybe a dumpster for a while. I feel like those are good ones. Those are some yummy ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
I'll be back.
absolutely go out to the dumpster, the one that sits in the alley behind the bakery. You know it fairly well. You go sit there sometimes because it just seems like a fun spot.
When I'm
And
feeling wild.
yeah, you just go take a dumpster bath. It's fine. And you are able, I'll say that it's probably rained within the past couple nights. You can find some wet leaves that have kind of fallen off trees, blown through the wind, and have somehow landed in this dumpster.
I'm gonna collect a couple of those really good, yummy, juicy dumpster leaves, and then I'll just pop back in and show them to my friends and be like, "How does this look good?" I think they look very lovely, and they've got a nice sheen.
Yes. Is the idea to decorate, or are we like crushing and infusing? What's your plan?
Those both sound hard. I was just gonna kind of stick them on there.
Decoration. Yeah. Great.
Okay. Yeah. I maybe if we could slide it somehow covertly so that it's under the cake, but not under the little wax paper that the cake is on.
I'm going to say this is definitely mischief. We have gotten into key items territory. And it's going to be one success.
Yes.
You can both give it a shot if you would like to.
I'll try, but I might need help. Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah, I figured.
That's it too. So yeah, no,
No.
I'm
Take another point of luck though. They could very much come in handy later.
That's
true. Try rolling with my little stick arms.
With your little stick arms, you're just shoving a leaf underneath a cake, desperately trying to not screw it up so much that Barb notices.
I'm gonna try to burn this stick in the process. Hold on.
That's a 1. So
wait, I'm level 2. I rolled 2 dice.
You are. You're level 2. You roll 2 dice now.
Okay, that's a 6.
Just one success?
Yes.
That's all you needed. Perfect. No over successes here for Miss Darla. With one success, I'll say as a team, you are able to, while everybody else is distracted outside, while Barb is grabbing heart-shaped sprinkles and all sorts of other things she's going to put on this horrific cake, you all are able to just scoot up just a smidge and stuff some gross leaves underneath it. Just, you never would know how they got there, and they're just slimy enough to where the second they touch frosting and cake, they are immediately ruining it. So even if someone did find this, already done. Already absolutely ruined. And you all watch as Barb then comes back, doesn't notice anything amiss, and starts to pipe on the words, "Will you marry me, Marie?" on this cake, and adds little hearts and heart sprinkles all the way around the border. And with her dissatisfied grunts, you all know that she thinks this cake is just a lot. She's like, this is what a basic man would order for a proposal, isn't it? This is no creativity in it whatsoever. It's the same cake that every other banker dude has ever ordered for a proposal from their bakery. And she's like, okay, again, sprinkle. But it looks nice by the end of it. It's very much up to Smell the Flowered standards, as Katie would say. But it's just now horrifically disgusting to bite into the second somebody tries to cut a slice.
Excellent.
Now, I know, Mushnug, that you like to stay here, but this Brock has been running amok in this place for too long. So I have a proposal, if you're up for it.
Yes,
At
I will
noon-
marry you.
Oh dear.
I love you. No,
You
different.
You can't afford me. I'm sorry, but
No, that's fair. I wouldn't be able to make you happy. I can't.
but I appreciate you for who you are, and
I
yes.
appreciate you, and I love being here in the bakery with you, and I love the life that we have. I'm sorry, I got excited because the cake, it gets me emotional.
Yes. Well, I was going to say, when the assistant comes back at noon, shortly before, I imagine there will be a boxing up of this cake, and I propose perhaps we just scoot in and take a little ride for the day and see what we can do to give this person a little bit of what they've earned. Just a thought.
It'll be just like being
Darla.
here. It'll be just like being here, but we transport ourselves. You wouldn't even notice it. It'd be a couple of moments of time maximum.
It's just like when you sprout. It's very easy.
Exactly.
But who is going to keep all of the poor writers here trapped in mushroom circles so that they can't leave all day?
I know.
That's like the only thing I do here.
Well, I mean, we won't be too long, will we?
No, and I think it's an investment. It's an investment in the continued longevity of Katie and her business, and also sometimes you just have to put people in their place, Mushnug.
I mean, he was not very nice to Stevie. He always tells him he needs to work harder, and you know how I don't like having lessons like that put into Stevie's head. So I suppose it must be done. So yeah. Okay, I will come. This time.
You all have laid out your plan. You watch as more people come in through the day, as more people sit down to work with their laptops or their tablets. Mushnug goes and creates a little mushroom circle, which means they just simply can't leave for a while, and that's okay because no one ever seems to really notice. You all keep going with the pastries and convincing people they want coffee and sort of just your everyday things here until it hits about noon. And you all see a short girl, probably like 5'2", 5'1", even, in a very nice blazer and skirt set. It's all gray and a very crisp button up. And she has a little tag on it. It is for the bank down the street. And the name tag says Kelsey on it. You could probably assume that this is Brock's assistant, as she seems very frazzled, very stressed, and like maybe she's never seen sleep in her life. Like, even with the makeup, the bags under her eyes are so prominent because she is so worried constantly because this man puts her through hell. As she runs up to the counter. Oh, hi, I'm Kelsey. I'm looking for order for Brock Whitehall. It's a heart cake. I think it's a heart cake, and it says, "Will you marry me?" on it. It's a secret proposal thing, but I don't think his fiance comes here, or soon to be fiance. Hopefully, I can't imagine what he's going to be like tomorrow if she says no. So please, dear God, let her say yes. Please tell me the cake is ready, please. And James, so overwhelmed by her energy, just sort of nods and walks in the back to go get it. She immediately gets a call, and you all can hear through the phone, from no matter how far away you are, his voice is so loud on the other end that his meeting was canceled and it was delayed and moved to this afternoon. So she needs to push the reservation for the proposal about a half hour. And she just goes, yeah, sure, absolutely. I will take care of that, Mr. Whitehall. Don't worry a thing about it. I am sure that the reservation that took me 6 months to get you all will absolutely be able to be moved by half hour without an issue. I'll get it done. And as James comes back with the box, just a single tear runs down her cheek, because I cannot stress this enough. This man is awful in every way possible. So Mushnug and Trica, you all are small enough that you can probably fit in the box if you like squish yourselves up, because you're pretty tiny. Darla, do you attempt to get in the box too at your like 3 feet tall that you are at this point, because you are a level 2, or are you just like, what's your plan?
So Darla can't get in the box. I think it would be funny if she like flat Stanley'd herself, but I don't think that she could do that. Maybe at level 1, who knows? I think she's gonna try this. Okay, well, I risk being seen if I try and hitch a ride on this lovely assistant's back.
You do.
But it would be really funny.
It would. It'd be
The plot
hilarious.
really.
We commit to the bit here at this table. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
If you would like to try to hitch a ride on Kelsey, that is more than fine. You need 1 success. You have 2 dice to roll. If you get an over success,
Okay.
we'll explain that when we get there, but it'll probably be fine.
Okay. One of them I got a 5, one of them I got a 2.
Cool. That's only 1 success. You do not over succeed. That is a regular success, which means you actually go up another level. You are now level 3. And you get to hitch a ride on Kelsey over to the bakery. Is this just like piggyback situation, but she doesn't know you're there?
I think she's genuinely just like sitting on like one of Kelsey's shoulders, and is trying to just very gently like pat like everything's gonna be all right, dear. And knowing damn well she's not seen.
She feels this odd comfort, and anyone that looks at Kelsey from one side is like, wow, her hair is so shiny. So shiny.
It's so luxurious.
It's so cool.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like, I wonder what shampoo she uses. As she grabs the box, kind of tucks her clipboard underneath it, that she's carrying with her to-do list for today. And she kind of just gently asks someone sitting near the door if they wouldn't mind to open it for her. And thankfully, it's somebody Mushnug has not put in a mushroom circle, so they can get up, open the door, and she makes her way out with you 3 in tow. It's only a couple of a minutes walk down to the bank, as she sort of like puts you all in her car. Well, it's a couple minutes walk to her car, and she drives you all to the bank, which is another few minutes, but still not very far. And in the meantime, you all hear her blasting sad girl music as loud as it can go. Because how else do you cope with just a grade A horrible boss? You only have so many ways to cope when you have to see him temporarily in a few minutes. So that's what's happening. Just sad girl music.
I was going to ask, while we have this interaction with her, can I use my wish ability to probe for her deepest desires?
Sure you can. I would love that. Her deepest desire is just that she gets some respect. It's not like a deep ask. It's not a big secret. It's mainly from her boss, but just anyone that is higher than her at work, if they could show her like one good job or hey, you matter here, it'd make her whole year. All she wants.
Is Mushnug just like singing along to the sad girl music?
Yep.
Mushnug is using Sprout to collect the lint in the car while singing along with the sad girl music. Absolutely. Yes.
You all could just see Mushnug popping from place to place, like the back seat, the floorboard, the front seat, the passenger seat, the dashboard, back to the back seat, like up in the back mirror, just collecting bits of dust and lint as you sing Out of Love by Alicia Cara. You know that song, that's the ultimate sad girl music, and I play it in my car all the time. As you all finish, like throughout probably like 3 or 4 songs, she pulls into this parking garage, flashes her badge, and they let her go through, and she parks in her designated parking spot of 73, and then she grabs the cake box and starts marching her little way to the elevator. Darla back in tow, and the security guard once again is like, "Wow, her hair is so shiny. Is it always that shiny?" But what other like explanation is this bald security guard gonna have? Not one, not a single thing. As she hops in the elevator, scans her badge, and you all head to one of the upper floors of this office building. Not the executive suites. Brock isn't good enough to get there yet, even though that's what he wants more than anything in this world. And this meeting that was supposed to happen this morning was supposed to secure him that spot. It just happens to not be a like he hasn't found his perfect way to executiveship yet. This meeting he thought was like his best shot, and now it's been delayed, and now he's a little grumpy as Kelsey walks in with this cake, and he just kind of like flashes a whiteboard at her that he has written on while he's on the phone talking to Adam again, probably, who knows, about this meeting and how he's so pissed that they had to move everything, and who did, like, he gets it, these are executive people, but blah, blah, blah. And he flashes the board at her and goes, "Does it look good? This girl has not checked this cake once. She's never opened the box. Yeah. Is the cake intact in the box with you two?"
Yes, we haven't done anything, I don't think. No.
Intact, yes. I did send a quick message because I wanted to check on something I wanted to do for a safety tool, just to make sure. But there is one thing I would like to do.
I'm more than fine with that. Cool with me. Perfect.
I would love to, right before I hop out of this box, just in case I grow in size here, I would love to try to change the name on the cake.
What would you like to change the name on the cake to?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it was Marie, so I think I'm going something relatively the same, like maybe just change it to like oh gosh, like mini or like something that just can like quickly let me rearrange the letters just enough that or just like swipe with my twig hand.
I'm gonna say that you're gonna roll mischief for me. This is just a 1 success because it's a very simple thing to do. You're just swiping through icing. And if it goes well, I'll let you know what it spells.
Perfect. I do have 2 luck points as well, so I might spend one.
You do. I was about to say you can absolutely spend them after your roll. So
I gotta change up the dice. Okay, so that's another 2. So I'm gonna try and spend a luck point here to roll 1 more dice.
There you go. Go for it. Let's see if it works.
Oh, that's a 6. Yay.
There we go. You roll incredibly well, and it works out in your favor. You take your little stick hand and you just kind of scrape the I and the E together and then bring it down a little bit. So now instead of Marie, it says Mary.
Okay.
And that's a good enough change. So it's either she thinks he's cheating or he thinks the bakery is incompetent and it still ruins his day. Either way, we'll roll for it when we get there, which way she thinks. I think that is a beautiful way to sabotage the cake a little bit. Kelsey opens the box lid just a smidge, and you all see her eyes go wide, and her face starts to go a little red, and she goes, "Yep, everything looks so perfect. Everything's so good. Everything's great." And he goes, "Would you quiet the fuck down? I'm on the phone."
This is too much for Mushnug. She goes and starts unplugging things from his computer. He can't take that. So it's too rude. So I'm going to sprout over to his computer. Mushnug has no idea what any of these things do. So we'll see what happens. But she's going to use all of her little strength to tug something out of the back of his computer.
Phenomenal. You roll mischief for me. This is just a 1. It's just pulling plugs. It's not hard. But as you do that, Trica, you have leveled up to level 2 because that was a success. Could you tell me what Trica looks like at level 2?
Yeah. So I think her little twigs just become a little bit more ornate, like very like Groot style, where they kind of like wrap around themselves and like almost make little like heart designs out of the twigs. Just as she gets a little bit bigger, she gets some twig hair. And when Mushnug is done, I'm totally gonna make use of my level 2 ability now as well, which I'm quite excited for.
Love that. Kelsey goes and puts the box down on her desk that's sort of over in the corner. It faces the wall. It's sad and upsetting, quite frankly. But she kind of sets everything down for safekeeping as he keeps going. And Mushnug, what'd you get on your roll?
So the first roll was a 1, and I wasn't particularly happy about that. So I tried again with one of my luck points, and I got a 4 this time.
Beautiful. So with that luck roll and you rolling that 4, you're able to kind of wrap your pieces of lint around different cords and just start pulling just as many as you can get your little self on. And then you also realize that there's it's in a power strip, and while you've only seen a couple of power strips in the bakery once or twice, you've realized that you just hit the switch and everything stops working anyway. So you hit the switch for good measure, unplug that from the wall, and plug everything from it. And the very last thing to go is the phone, as he watches and is getting angrier and angrier when the computer screen shuts off, when his printer stops working, when the fax machine stops working, and everything else, until he finally goes, Adam? Adam! Kelsey, get Adam back on the phone. Fix my shit. And she turns around and goes, okay. And just goes and looks starts fiddling with the computer, trying to turn it back on. Nothing's working, obviously. And it takes maybe a solid 10 minutes for her to realize somehow everything has become unplugged. And she goes, I think you just accidentally unplugged it with your foot or something, if you were kicking around while you were on the phone. And he ducks his head under the desk to look. I didn't. Whatever, just plug it back in. She just takes a slight smile and plugs everything back in where it goes. It goes, there you go, boss. And walks back over to her little desk in the corner. And he picks up the phone again and starts talking to Adam about this presentation. And you all are creeping up on presentation time. We're getting there. He's got to go within the next 10 minutes.
I think I'll save.
I don't
Not yet. You're doing great. Not yet. I'm gonna save mine for the meeting, I think.
Okay.
If there's anything you want to do, Darla.
I love
I'm also
that.
saving mine for the meeting. I'm just thinking blackout, but we'll just keep that for later. That's in the back of my head.
Such a good time. Oh, and I will say you'll also see on his desk a picture of him and a beautiful blonde woman who is I don't know, 5'6", 5'7", a little shorter than him, but very fit, very tan, very blonde. The definition of one of those wife types that come into the bakery for a cake tasting, but are absolutely rude about it. Is there anything you all would like to do pre-meeting, or are we hitching a ride to the meeting?
I'm looking at the things we can do, some examples of level 2 things.
Yeah.
Oh, do whatever you want.
And I know, just for inspiration.
Forging someone's signature on a contract, sabotaging a carriage wheel to break later on the road, mimicking voices. These are
mimicking
all
voice one is one that's calling to me.
Who would you like to mimic and how? I love it.
You have the opportunity to do something really funny right now.
Are there other people in this office?
Oh yeah, they're all milling about at this point.
Right.
This his office is sort of right off of the elevator, and her desk is sort of an adjoining thing. But right outside of that, there are cubicles as far as the eye can see, filled with sad bankers and insurance people and all sorts of people that work in this office who all really and truly, you just know intuitively, hate his fucking guts.
Awesome. Darla, you got something you want to do?
Yeah, you see the little look in my eyes. I'm
go for it. Yeah.
Are there any physical clocks in the room?
Oh yeah, I would say he's got one above his not above his desk where he can't see it, but kind of above these like bookshelves and things where he would be able to keep track of the time.
Okay, I think Darla would be at height enough to reach over and try and set them back.
How far?
Hold on. I'm actually gonna roll a d6 for this because I think it's funny.
I would love that.
Someone give me evens or odds.
Evens.
Okay. Okay, so I got a 6 on the dice. So I'm gonna be cordial and say 30 minutes.
Beautiful. Give me a roll about it. And again, that's just a 1. That's just you messing with like an object in the room. It doesn't need to have interaction from him in any way or anything like that.
That's a 5.
Or sorry, setting back all the clocks in the house is a 2 in the book, so I'll make it a 2. Two success.
Okay, just a 5 and a 1.
You don't have any luck points yet, do you? You've
No.
not failed at all. I'm gonna say with 1 success, then I'll give you half of it. So then you've set it back 15 minutes instead.
All right.
But it is enough to where he looks up at the clock and goes, "Oh, I have way more time than I thought. Kelsey, give me a coffee." And she looks at the clock, looks at her phone, and you all can see that his clock is wrong. But she doesn't say anything. She just goes to the break room to make a coffee.
She's a real one for that.
We've all had a boss at one point that we've not wanted to help in any way. And this is just Kelsey's. And that's okay.
We've all been Kelsey.
We've all been Kelsey. We've all been Kelsey. And he goes back and all he's doing now is playing solitaire on his computer.
He's got to be playing Microsoft Solitaire Collection. There's
There's
no other way.
There's no other way. That's
He's like level 130. He's been
is.
doing this for a hot minute.
He's got like all the different backs of the decks of cards, and currently they're the ones. It's like 3 fish in a bowl. It's like the dumbest one you can have because it's not interesting in any way. But that is what the back of his deck of cards is in solitaire.
What's wrong with him? Something is wrong with this. I want to check his pockets and see what is in there.
Go for it.
Yeah.
That's a 1 success roll. Pick his pockets.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
I'm level 2 now, so I'm rolling 2 dice. Right. And that is a 4 and a 2.
Perfect. Okay, so you are able to pick his pockets, and I'll say you find some more lint for your collection. Some random pocket change and a ring box.
I found a quarter, you guys.
Oh,
He has quarters.
do you want that? And I'm gonna point at the ring box. Like, do you want that?
It's fuzzy. You can have it.
Yeah. I think it's shiny inside. Shiny.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Can I open
Tasty.
it and see?
Absolutely.
Ring.
You see in it a beautiful ring. It is kind of like an oval cut with the band around it with the extra little diamonds and everything. It is something that screams, I make money, or at the very least, I need people to think I make money.
Awesome. I'm gonna hold on to that because at level 4 I can do something pretty epic with this. So.
I love that so much. You hold on to the tiny little ring box, and we'll just see what you do with it later. Until then, he has no clue that it's gone, and quite frankly, he has bigger thoughts on his mind, like winning this game of solitaire and passing the time until his big important meeting that he's going to be 15 minutes late for. And Kelsey comes back with a coffee in this mug that says world's best banker on it, because of course it does, and just sets it on a coaster on his desk before she backs up and goes back to her desk. Doesn't say a word about it. Probably knows better at this point because he'll probably just yell about something else or ask her to do something else. And after maybe 5-6 minutes, he wins that game of solitaire and starts a new one. He plays another game of solitaire before he looks up at the clock and goes, great, time to go to the meeting. Kelsey, grab my briefcase and my laptop. I have a presentation to give. And she nods. and gets up to pick up his stuff.
Does he pick up the coffee to go to the meeting?
I'm gonna say yeah, he does.
Great. As he gets up, and I'm gonna wait till like just crests like the office door, so that in like full view of everybody in the office. I'd like to try using my level 2 ability, which is disarming smile.
I would love that. Can you describe that for everybody, please?
Yes. So the description says that I smile at a person that I can see, and they drop whatever they're holding. So I think the flavor of this is that because I'm somebody who really likes fortune and expensive things, I think that even though I'm made of wood, when I smile, it's like diamonds. It's like I have like 2 grills, and and it's almost the flavor is like, since I'm invisible, it's like the light glinting off the diamonds like blinds them for a second, so they drop whatever they're holding.
Wonderful. You all watch as Kelsey goes out first, carrying all of his stuff in tow, and he kind of trails. Oh yeah, you do.
I do have to roll.
Yes,
to be
you
fair,
do have to roll. I was about to say, no, you're right. That is one that requires a success.
Yes.
We just let it happen.
I mean, I was gonna say, if you want to give me an auto success,
I want the worst things to happen to Brock Whitehall. I thought when you all were like, we just want a like awful person to deal with this, like in tech or banking or insurance or something. I was like, his name's Brock.
I rolled a 2 and a 5, so we got.
Hey, that'll work. All right, so you are able to watch Kelsey go first. He follows after, and you position yourself in a way kind of sitting on top of one of the cubicles outside, so you're at eye level with him, and smile, the biggest smile you've ever seen, as all of a sudden he just drops this coffee cup in the middle of a carpeted hallway, and it shatters on the ground, pieces flying everywhere, coffee staining this like beige orangey carpet in a splatter of different places, and everyone immediately stops their work and looks up to watch him do this.
Hopefully also getting all over his shoes.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely like on the shoes, on the hem of the pants. And it's even now that he realizes that his first coffee must have had a hole in it or something, because when he looks down on the ground, he sees the drips on his jacket, on his pants, all along the hem of his pants now, and on his shoes and socks, and then seeping into the carpet as he was nearly full. He hadn't even taken a sip of it yet, and it is everywhere. And without a word, he just looks up to everybody and goes, and just like acts like nothing happened, and goes down the hallway before barking at Kelsey to get a janitor.
Do we level up when we succeed on our magic too?
Okay, you sure do.
So
successes are successes.
A little bit bigger. I'm now like human size, 5 feet.
Yeah, beautiful. As you all just grow. Oh. You love to see it. And he starts to march down the hallway to get to his meeting in time. And we are going to go ahead and we'll take our break right there before our big meeting and our proposal. But yeah, we'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. In the meantime, though, I do have a PDF to give away. If you are interested in being entered into the PDF giveaway, do me a favor. In chat, I would like to know what you as a Cunning Folk would do to Brock. That's going to be the way you enter. I would like all of your ideas on what you would do to this horrible, horrible man as a member of the Cunning Folk. And for when you put your entry in, I'm going to add your name to my little magic wheel. And my little magic wheel is going to pick a winner at the end of the night. So I leave you with that. Brainstorm your best ways to ruin Brock's life. And we will see you all in about 10 minutes. Bye. We're back. Hello, everybody. We have some things to get to with dear Brock Whitehall. But just to check in with everybody, what level is everyone currently at? And what does your what does your creature look like? What does your cunning folk look like at this level? And we're just gonna go the same order as earlier. So Heather gets to go first.
Yeah, I'm currently at level 3, so I am 5 feet tall. And I think at this point I have like an ornate like twig dress that's been created. And yeah, and I'm just strolling around like feeling real fine.
I love that so very much. Darla, what level are you at?
I'm at level 2, I believe, and Darla's a little bit taller now, and she's still this like very bright beam of light. Just you can kind of see her, like the shape of her body a little bit more clearly now.
Wonderful. And Mushnug.
Mushnug is also at level 3, so we've grown from level 1 was 1 foot, and now I'm 5 foot, and I look more humanoid, but barely. And really, I look like I have a giant pack on with just lots of little bits and bobbins and things that I thought looked fun and shiny, but not necessarily useful, which is why I liked them.
Perfect. Protect Mushnug at all cost, first of all. Because I love that for
I'm just so
them.
sleepy.
Just sleepy guy. But we have no time to be a sleepy guy because Brock Whitehall has just gone down the hallway and into the conference room, or is getting ready to enter the conference room right behind his assistant, Kelsey, who is working her ass off for literally no appreciation because corporate America. Is there any last things you all would like to do? Obviously, you've just made this man drop his coffee. He has coffee everywhere on him, on his Navy suit. He's hoping no one sees it. They probably will. And he's getting ready to give a big presentation that he thinks will make him a shoe-in for a like executive upgrade for like the next VP spot that opens up, that sort of thing.
I don't want to do anything to Brock in particular, but as I let my friends follow him, you had said I was sitting on a desk, so I'm gonna just hop off the dress and just fix my little twig dress, and I'm gonna go over to the nearest like computer, sitting in a cubicle looking miserable person, and I'm just gonna bend over and just whisper in their ear and use or attempt to use my level 3 rumor mill ability. Which is to start a rumor that anyone who hears believes to be true.
Love that.
And I'd like to just whisper, Kelsey is really the only reason anything gets done around here. She's the real one to watch. It's just.
You whisper in this man's ear, and he's like an older guy, probably late 50s, early 60s, like typing away at his little computer with just his little button up on and a cardigan over top. And the minute you say that, like Kelsey's the one to watch, he kind of perks up a little bit and he goes, huh. Yeah, Kelsey's been doing such a good job. I should send an email. And so you watch as he like types away on his computer. He sees like the entire floor, as well as like Brock, a bunch of the executives, like all these things. And he writes, thank you all so much for such a illustrious career. I've had the time of my life. And as I'm getting ready to do, we're preparing for my retirement coming soon. I would just like to say that I think Kelsey has been such a huge help and everything. And he writes like paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. And that is the way he sends your rumor along through the rumor mill. And as everybody gets this email and opens it up, they instantly believe that Kelsey is such a big help to this team, to this business. No matter whether they know who Kelsey is or not before they open this email, they know now, and they know that they like her.
Amazing. Yeah. And feeling very full of pride and joy. I just start following to the room, and you see me just gradually growing taller as I walk. as I now become 8 feet tall at
Yeah.
level 4. So I think I might have to stay right outside the conference room. But
You can kind of
You
duck
can duck your head
through the
in.
door, yeah, and then go back in. You're definitely tall enough to deal with that. These are pretty high ceilings. I assume basically rich people businesses have mostly vaulted ceilings in their businesses. Maybe
True.
that's
Fair.
a fault of my own, but I've only worked in a few corporate worlds and they've all had vaulted ceilings. So oh well.
I'm just not used to it at the bakery. That's
Yeah, the bakery doesn't have all this fancy stuff, like all this, but you can kind of duck down. Where have Mushnug and Darla settled themselves in the conference room preparing for this?
Just the corner, the dustiest corner.
Yeah.
Darla's parking herself by the nearest light source. And by truly parking, I mean like if it's like obviously a light above. I'm assuming it's those like really shitty like office building lights.
Yes.
She is like parked in it. Like she is like what, like 3 feet tall.
Yeah. I was gonna say she's only like 3 feet tall. You
She's
can
like 3
definitely get
feet
away with
tall.
that. That's very
Yeah.
fair.
And she's just kind of like this is the one instance where I will say she has flat Stanley'd herself
Yes.
into a light fixture.
Perfect. So Trica, you come in and you see Darla has kind of like flattened herself up against those awful fluorescent lights in office buildings. And you can see Mushnug is kind of like up against the leg of one of the conference room chairs. It's kind of gathered dust and stuff around it. We keep it pretty clean in here, but it's a little bit, and Mushnug keeps kind of nodding off, head against the table, and then perking themselves back up. All of the executives smile when they see Kelsey come in and smile and nod to her, which she's kind of confused about because she's never had this before in her whole life. But she smiles back very politely and sets up Brock's things, the laptop and the briefcase and everything, as Brock smiles, goes to shake their hands, is very sure these smiles are for him, not a care in the world that they could be for anybody else. And you all watch as he pulls up this presentation. You're not quite sure what any of the words on it mean. They sound like a person that uses bigger words to make themselves sound smarter when they don't know what the bigger words mean. That's what all of the phrasing on this first slide looks like. As everybody kind of gets settled in with their coffee, and Brock kind of brushes away at the coffee stains on his suit like it'll make it go away, but it won't, before he settles in and says, hello, everybody. Welcome to today's presentation. And all of their smiles immediately drop. Kelsey sits, and all of them are over it to the utmost degree. But they are silent, say nothing, and just wait for him to continue. Except for this one guy that like gives him like a very subtle thumbs up that you can only assume is Adam. He just goes, Kelsey, next slide. And he starts to speak. Is there anything you three would like to do in the meantime as he starts to get into this presentation with, might I say, a bar graph on the slide that makes no sense whatsoever?
How far does he get into his presentation? Let's start there. How far can I let him get into his presentation?
You can interrupt at any time you would like.
Okay.
I would say you can pick the number of slides he gets to before you.
How many slides does a banker have in his presentation?
Too many.
Too many.
Too many. I'd say this presentation probably has 32.
It's 32 slides and like only 16 of them matter. Correct. Yeah, it could have been an email. Got
Correct.
it.
Could have been a post-it note, quite frankly, but here we are.
Quite frankly. I am going to try and essentially cause a blackout by by trying to remove any of the light sources in the room. And I guess just like just become one with the light.
I love that.
So yes, I think that would be 2 successes I'd have to hit.
Yes, I think so.
So let's try. Let's try. Okay, so that's a first success. I got a 5 on the first roll.
Woo!
And that is a 6 on the second roll.
Hi.
Shout out my Arby's dice. Awesome. So yeah, I think Darla in her flat Stanley state, truly just like hugs the light, the fluorescent light that she's flat Stanleyed on until there is no light left in the room, and it's kind of just all absorbed into her.
Yeah. You sit and squeeze it in like the biggest bear hug, and slowly it gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And at first, nobody in the room notices it until it's about halfway gone. And then they all start to look up and they're not listening to him at all anymore when a spark flies and all of a sudden all of the light is gone. His presentation shuts off, like the Wi-Fi is out. Everything is gone. And essentially, really at least ruins the flow of his presentation as he's going on with that fake, absurd mediocrity and confidence that so many men like him hold. And he is going on, in this quarter, if we would make these sacrifices, we would really punch in on these numbers, lock in, we're talking long hours, no breaks, but in the end it would be so worth the profitability that our company would then withstand. Everything goes out and he doesn't have numbers to pull from anymore because this man has been reading off the slides word for word this entire time and now has nothing. As Kelsey sort of panics and is hitting buttons on the computer and he freezes. And really, I just had a couple of slides left. If you gentlemen have any questions, though, you please feel free. And one of them goes, "You could just keep going. You made this presentation, didn't you?" And he goes, "Of course, absolutely, of course I did. I absolutely did." No, he didn't. But
if it's dark out in this room at the moment with the blackout, I feel like I would love to use this opportunity to mimic Brock's voice and just say, "Oh, I'm far too incompetent to do that."
Yeah, amazing. That's 2 successes, please. And dear God, I hope they work. Now, I would love for this man to have.
Since I'm level 4, do I have to roll all 4 of my dice?
You have to roll all 4 of your dice because we must have the chance of over success. Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right.
Ooh. Oh no. Okay. All right. Well, hey, at least it's dark out. So, even if I were to burn my luck point, I rolled all 4 successes. So I over succeed. I'm too good.
Correct. You were too good at voices. You've gotten a lot of practice. You like practice Barbara's grunts every morning. You're very good at what you do. As you say, far too incompetent for that, to try to sound exactly like Brock. Not only do you sound exactly like Brock, it's just a little weird that a couple of the executives are like, "Did you move?" And they think that he's behind them instead. And he goes, "No, I'm right over here." So because you've got an over success, you do get everything that you wanted to happen. You just get a little bit of added extra, which is now that they kind of think there's 2 Brocks in this room. And that is more terrifying than anything I could put in this game. And you also have to take a level back down.
A level down.
You go down a level, you lose 1d6 to your dice pool.
Okay.
And you lose the height that comes with it. So at least now you're down to like 5 feet instead of 8. There are goods and bads to everything as far as size goes for this game. As Brock is like struggling to collect himself and he goes, "Kelsey, fix it faster." And she goes, I'm trying my best. I don't know if it's like the office or the city or what, but the power's just out. I don't know. As she keeps tip-tap typing away on the computer. And one of the executives goes, "No, Brock, we were really polite when you started this presentation 15 minutes late. You just, we are kind of like getting close on time anyways. If you could just summarize the last of your slides that you apparently didn't even make. Did Kelsey make your slides?" No, I made my slides. Kelsey absolutely made this man's slides. But I can absolutely summarize it for you. "I'm so sorry that I'm late. We're gonna have to get maintenance to look at the clock, Kelsey. Don't look at me. I'm not the one. You trust that clock more than you trust me. It's fine. And in this moment, it dawns on him, I was 15 minutes late, which means we're wrapping. How far over are we exactly? And somebody goes, like 15, 20 minutes now. Oh, I am so sorry, everybody. I do have to go. Kelsey, you got the reservation moved back, didn't you? Didn't you? And Kelsey does not know what to say because she did not get the reservation moved back. I was going to, but then your computer died and your phone died and the fax machine and the printer both also died. I didn't have time after. And he goes, gentlemen, I am so sorry. This is supposed to be a very happy day. I must go, but please do I'll send out the slide deck and you can take a look at it and we will circle back. We will touch base online. You send me any questions you have and just know that this is the best direction our company could possibly go if we hope to make bigger profits. And he literally grabs his briefcase and bolts out the door, leaving Kelsey and every exec behind.
I would like to really quickly, just on the off chance that I do possibly succeed,
please do,
curse him to have been speaking in gibberish for that last whole rant that he gave.
Yeah.
I only have a dice pool of 3. I'd have to succeed on every dice. But just in case, maybe.
Yeah, you never know. And if that whole thing just came out as like Pig Latin or whatever, I would really love that.
I would too. That would be
I think that'd be really fun for everyone involved.
Okay.
Really, truly.
That's a 4. That's a 6. That's a 2. But I have 1 more luck point, so I'm going to roll another dice just in case because I really want it to be true. And that's a 3. So no.
That's okay. I will say with 2 successes, though, I'll say that it is at the very least that some of it is coming out like right as rain, but then every once in a while he starts like stuttering or mixing his words up, or he goes like before he keeps going back in English again. And so every executive is just confused mostly as he runs out of the room, and you see one turn to Kelsey and go, could you give us a summary of the rest of your slides, if that would be okay? And she goes, oh yeah, sure. We were on slide 26, I think. So we're getting into like greater community foundations and how we can be splitting up like cost effectiveness, not just through our company, but then through surrounding neighborhoods in order to get more customers in the door. Let's go. And she starts to give the rest of the presentation as he bolts to the parking garage.
Can we follow?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
You're more than welcome to. All of you are of a height that you can keep up nowadays.
We're fully sprinting.
Yeah, fully sprinting, just like a beam of light, a ball of lint with a backpack, and like a twig person just high speed running down the hallway, watching as this man is like bolting through corridors and stuff. Doesn't even bother to lock his office or anything as he runs to his car. And you all can climb in alongside him as he starts everything up and is racing like a bat out of hell to some it's like a high-end steak restaurant that has a pretentious name like Le Boeuf or something, as he veers himself in front of the valet parking and climbs out of his car, throws the keys at the man like baseball throw, could poke an eye out at any moment, and goes, Marie Morgan? And the valet just looks confused. He's like, I don't know that name. Sir, do you have a reservation with us tonight? Can I park your car? Do you want premium parking? Any of that? Thank you for not stabbing me with your keys, I guess. And Brock goes, I don't give a fuck about your premium parking. I don't give a fuck about anything else. Yes. No, I have it. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. And he desperately looks in the backseat of his car. And he like picks up the cake box that he grabbed on like pure instinct right out the door. Never checked it. Yes.
I need 1 more success again so that I can level back up and do my fool's gold. So can I, as soon as he picks up the cake, May I try my disarming smile so that he drops it?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Can we just like plant Darla right in front of the cake? Darla just like stares, makes beaming eye contact.
You're helping me be distracting.
Yes.
All right, I only did one success on this, so I'm hopeful. Okay, here we go. That is a 4, a 2, and a 2. So perfect.
Beautiful.
One
Beautiful.
success.
One success. You level back
Sorry,
up.
cake.
You have fool's gold. And he, as soon as he picks up this cake, he goes to open the box to look at it. And the last thing he sees is, "Will you marry me, Mary?" And he immediately drops it and he goes, "I didn't need that cake anyway. The cake is better on the ground. It is all totally fine and everything is okay. Just put me in fucking premium parking, for God's sake." And he leaves the cake where it is on the ground. The icing is splattered onto his pants and his shoes, like white with little flecks of the pink and red where the hearts once stood. Those muddy leaves that you all put in it have like caked themselves to his shoes too, so it's all gross. And he saunters on inside, not saying another word to this valet. Valet just looks very confused as he takes the keys that definitely hit him and then hit the ground. And he gets in the car and drives it over to the premium parking area, which will be automatically added on to his very fancy, expensive bill.
Fantastic. I think Mushnug is immediately going for the kitchen and looking for some mice.
Phenomenal. I'm gonna make this like this is not a mechanic in this game, but I'm gonna just say it's a luck roll. So like roll me a d6, and if you get a success on it, there are mice, and if you
All
don't
right.
get a success on it, there are no mice.
Is it? How good is this restaurant? How clean is it?
What's its rating?
Yeah. That is a 6 on the dice.
There you go. Mice
So many
aplenty.
mice.
Now, let me be very
Yeah.
clear. This is one of the most expensive restaurants in town. This man wants this woman to know that she's worth every penny to him because he wants this rich bitch marriage, you know? But they are also one of the like places in town that can afford to pay off a health inspector. So the mice are aplenty in the kitchen, my friend. Aplenty.
It might take a while, but Mushnugs kind of took a big fuzzy box out of that guy's pocket and feels like, they should replace it with something else fuzzy. And Mushnug's going to use their second level spell to talk to these mice and see if perhaps they could convince one of them to go hang out in his pocket as sort of like a sandbag switching out situation.
I think that's beautiful and wonderful. You approach this little like group of mice that are kind of all huddled over in a corner. You see them picking at like scraps of food that they've stolen from the kitchen, and they're just kind of like hanging out and talking. And do you need successes for that?
I do need a success on
Beautiful.
the speaking to the animals spell, because that's one success, but I have 2 dice to roll, so let's see how that goes. I have no more luck to spend though. But if I fail, I earn more luck. That's 2 4s. Does that mean
that's an over success? So you needed 1 success, yeah?
Yeah.
That's totally fine. You just go down a level.
Yes.
So you still get your success, but you go down a level, so you will shrink a bit.
Instead of going up a level with this success, I go down.
Yes, you go down instead. An over success means you go down. Because someone has like spotted something that you have done as a cunning folk.
Did they notice my mice meeting? What?
I think as like just one of like the sous chefs come through the kitchen, and he's sort of running through. He's going so fast, but he sees something out of the corner of his eye and just does that stop, takes 3 steps backwards, looks at you with a bunch of mice on the floor and goes, "You know what? No," and just keeps going. Because he's not paid enough for this. Is not a problem that he is monetarily gaining from. So he's like, "You know what? I'm out." But you are noticed, so you will shrink a level. But you can make friends with one of the little mice as they sort of like look at you and go, "You're not from around here."
No, but I love your grime. It looks so tasty.
Oh, thanks. Do you want any? Is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. Go for it, man. We get drops all the time.
I'm gonna
It's
take
like
some of that
not a
home
big
with me.
deal. We eat better than like anybody that comes to eat here and pays for it anyway. We just gotta take the scraps off the floor, you know?
Yeah, no, I live at a bakery, so I definitely get it. But this is a lot of meat that I'm not used to, so that's like,
Dude, you get cake? That's cool. We only get cake if
yeah.
like a proposal happens or something, because
There's,
then they order like the
there's
chocolate lava thing here, and it's like pretty good, but it's a
okay.
rare
So
occasion.
I have a deal for you. If I could get you the connection on like primo fresh cake right now, would you go hang out in this guy's pocket for me for just like the next 2 hours?
I spend 2 hours in a dude's pocket. I get primo cake for like my life.
Well, not forever, but that could be negotiated. I can
Sure.
guarantee you though, a
Yeah.
giant fresh cake right now for
Okay,
everybody here.
cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I think 2 hours in a guy's pocket is really not a lot to ask when it
Awesome.
comes to getting a whole cake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You seem like a
sure.
really trustworthy mouse. I'm just gonna tell you right now, right
I
next
do
to the
my best.
valet stand, huge cake just dropped all over the ground. So that's just free up for grabs. You can
Oh,
go get
cool.
that.
Hey, boys, you heard the nice lit lady. Go get the cake, and you bring all that in here, and I'm gonna go hang in some dude's pocket. Am I like trying to make his life easier or harder? Because I could do
No,
both.
right? No, I think really the idea is just you chill. You're just hanging in
Oh.
there. He might grab you and pull you out, and like if you're not cool with that, like you don't have to be, right? Yeah.
I mean,
but
I'll
like
just bite him. I bite.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I've been a dude once or twice. Like people are
Yeah.
trying to get me to leave is really rude. Like people don't even think about the sanctity of property anymore.
No,
So sure, I'll
no,
just go sit in this dude's pocket, and then when he goes to grab me, and just go bite his hand.
yeah. Feel free. Whatever you
Cool.
feel like you need to do in that moment is just follow your heart. You know.
Yeah, sweet. What's he look like though? Because we do have like a busy dining room tonight. I don't want to go in the
I'm gonna
wrong
help
guy's
you with this.
pocket.
It's gonna be super, super easy because you
Sure.
got that just
Yeah.
amazing nose. You're gonna find the guy, blue suit, smells like coffee, cake, and panic sweat.
Cool. Coffee, cake, panic sweat. Got it. That's a super easy combination. Oh, he's here to get engaged, isn't he? Yeah, panic sweat's really popular with those guys. All right, I'm gonna head on out.
Thank you.
Boys, go get the cake. And the little other rats just all go, and they scurry off to the parking lot to go grab chunks of cake before the valet can clean it up. And this little rat, you watch as he like scampers himself all the way across the dining room, finds this guy on his way to the table, and as Brock is sitting down, the rat climbs the back leg of the chair and just slips his way into Brock's pocket.
Mushnug's gonna take a nap in the kitchen now. She's tired.
So
There you
real.
go.
Can Darla do something silly goofy? And by
Of
silly
course you
goofy, I
can.
mean steal Brock's wallet to hide it, or like misplace it rather.
You absolutely can. Where do you want to put Brock's wallet
Oh my
if you
gosh.
can grab it?
I don't know. I think
But I
Darla
suggest-
might hold on to it just for the and peruse the spots around and kind of just figure out where it's best placed.
I think that's lovely. Please feel free to roll. I just need one success to pick a pocket. It's a pretty simple task.
All right. And I'm level 3 now?
Correct. So you will be rolling 3d6.
Wouldn't this be funny if I made it over success? All right. All right.
Seeming so confident what's happening. How many
There's 2
successes
4s
did you get?
there,
Okay.
and there's a 6.
So too many?
Too many.
Too many. That's fine. You just go down one level. Not a
Darla
big
becomes
deal.
tiny again. It's fine.
Darla is you're like your 3-foot self, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Your little 3-foot beam of light that's carrying around a man's wallet.
Yeah.
Like it's like a proper leather billfold, and you open it up, and it's got like Brock Petunia Whitehall has on his driver's license with like the worst picture you've ever seen. He just looks so angry. And it definitely lists him as 3 inches shorter minimum than what he says he is. Minimum. And you now hold on to his wallet, and in his other pocket of his pants, a rat lays and is probably napping at this point.
As he should be. He
Yes,
works
which is
hard.
great. He worked hard, and he's got to be here for 2 hours. He doesn't want to
Yeah.
listen to this guy for 2 hours. He's like, I'm gonna just chill, wait for
hoping it
my
won't
time to
take that
bite, and then I'll
long.
peace on out.
Yeah.
All right. Anything from Trica before he properly sits down with Marie, who has been waiting for too long?
I don't necessarily need to do this like before he sits down. I think I'm gonna go for the moment to some sort of a little shadowy corner, maybe by some big drapery or something. And I'd like to attempt at this point so that I can get it back in his pocket in time. My big moment maybe, and use my fool's gold since I am back to level 4 now.
You are. Can you explain what Fool's Gold is, please?
Yes. So I need 2 successes, but if I succeed, I can fashion an exact replica of an object I've seen before. So I take the ring out of my little twig pocket and open it up, and my goal is to create a worthless replica of this diamond ring and switch it out.
Beautiful, wonderful. Absolutely love it. Roll for your successes. Let's see what happens.
All right. I have 4. I only need 2 successes, but I do have a luck point. I have 1 luck point. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I did it.
Yay!
I got a 5, a 6, and a 2.
Cool.
Amazing.
So, with a 5, a 6, a 3, and 2, you are able to fashion an exact replica of this little ring, and you kind of keep the real one to yourself. What do you do with the fake one now that you've crafted it?
So I actually think this might be a time when, I don't know if we can communicate with each other when we're not together.
I would say you can. I would think the Cunning Folk can do something as simple as that.
Or you might at least see me like give you a wave, Darla, because I think I see you somewhere in the dining room. Because as much as it's exciting that I succeeded on that, I am now level 5, which means I am 12
huge.
feet tall, which is part of why I was like, I'm gonna go in the corner. So there is just a towering, like very like Slender Man-esque twig person in the corner of this fine dining establishment. And so I give you a big wave because I'm thinking of passing this replica off to you to see if you can maybe drop it in a pocket for me. Deliver it back or something like that.
Yeah, I think Darla catches eyes and just like sticks her little 3 feet tall hands up like a child, and it's like, give me.
Give.
Yeah, you're like 12 feet tall now. Give me.
So I will hand you down that one, and I will just slip the real one on my own finger.
Beautiful. You deserve it. You've worked so hard for this. You deserve the real ring. As Darla, you go to take it back, and it's going to be another success as it's you kind of reverse pickpocket and put this back. And I want to know, is it in the pocket where the wallet used to be, or are you basically handing this to the rat and going like, Godspeed?
I'm handing it to the rat.
Phenomenal.
How do we give it over to the rat?
Honestly, I don't even think you need a success at that point because you're like, the rat's on your side. Like, the rat has been given clear instructions. Stay in the pocket. Wait till he grabs you. And he's like, oh, a shiny thing? Yeah, bud. Hand it over. As he kind of just holds onto it with a little paws, like clutching it to his chest. And you've never seen a happier mouse in your entire life. As he just kind of is sitting and chilling. And you overhear Brock apologizing to Marie, saying, I don't know, honey. It went over a little bit, but this is so important to my career, to our next steps. You want that big, beautiful, rich wedding. And I know, obviously, your father is going to help fund it because it's a very traditional thing of him and he wants to help. But, I also want to contribute to our wedding. My family will be contributing to our wedding. And my being on the fast track to executive is really just the thing that we need to really solidify us as a power couple in this town. Don't you think? She says nothing, checks her nails, is like looking all over the place and goes, yeah, I guess so, honey. I'm happy to hear that whatever you did went really well. I'm sure you absolutely killed it. You're the love of my life. Everything is changing and happening so fast. How lucky am I to have a love like you? And during that whole thing, does not look at him once. Not once.
Damn.
Hey, good luck. All right.
I would say I'd like to use my intuit power, but I don't think I need to.
Oh, I don't think you do either. This woman wants nothing more than to just marry rich so she doesn't have to do anything in this whole world. And she's like, this douchebag is probably the answer. Is it for love? No, not at all. For money, all the way through. But she doesn't need love. She could have any guy that she wants at literally any point in time. She's cool. Like this is money for money's sake. As she is already on her second glass of wine, like the waiter is coming to fill up another, and he looks super awkward and doesn't really know what to say, except, "Are you all ready to order?" And the Brock kind of goes, "Oh yes, I will have the steak medium with some a baked potato on the side is fine. Honey, what do you want?" And she very quickly rattles off an order the waiter doesn't even catch. She's like, "I want a steak on a medium. I want it this, and this, and I need mashed potatoes, not the ones with the cheese on them. Cheese makes me fat." And like all of this stuff. And very quickly before the waiter can walk away, Brock goes, "In one of those triple chocolate cakes, if you don't mind, for the end." And the wide eyes of this man looking at this waiter, the waiter knows what's up, and in this moment is choosing whether or not he likes Brock enough to like throw him any pity. And he just goes, "Yes, sir," and walks away. And you watch as he goes over to the host stand, punches, or the like thing, punches everything in for the kitchen, and he's good to go. So now these two sit in silence, which is weird and uncomfortable. And you all kind of have can probably make one last action each before the entrees come out and are ready, because it'll immediately be followed by cake. Yeah, just
because Mushnug is in the kitchen, Mushnug would like to see if they could possibly switch the order that came in so that the cake comes out first.
You absolutely can't. I mean, that's mischief for sure.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get. I'm gonna call that. What level are you at right now? One. Okay, I was about to say. I'm just gonna.
Is that something I can even do as a dust sprite? I don't know.
I think that you can probably hit a delete button on a computer to delete the entrees entirely.
Yeah, just delete the entrees. That's all.
I think you can do that.
Yeah.
I think
okay, I'll try.
Easy level 1.
I'll try.
You have some, mouse friends who can totally show you which
You
buttons
have mouse friends.
They've been there for a while.
They're busy eating cake.
Yeah.
So
They are literally over in the corner is just a pile of this cake that they've had to bring in clumps. So it's like Cake Mountain, sort of. And it's still got the leaves and stuff in part of it. They don't give a single fuck.
Makes it better.
Cake clumps with icing bits on top and then like a heart and things. They've been like dragging it around the floor. They've even dragged some of the icing in the shape of a heart because they're just really excited about things as they like sit there and eat it. And like the biggest, chubbiest mouse sits on top of the mountain, laying back, staring at the ceiling, and just keeps picking up little clumps and stuffing them in his face. You're pretty sure he would die happy if he died right now, but he's fine. He's just a fat little rat that's loving life.
Yeah, that's what life is about. If you can, you get on that mountain of cake and you eat it, and you never get up. You never get up. Okay, I rolled a 5.
I'm never getting up, Mushnug. Don't you worry. I'm staying here for life.
Good. But yeah, Mushnug rolled a 5.
Beautiful. You kind of hop up to the little like ticket thing that prints out everything for the kitchen, and you're like, No. And you just keep hitting the delete button and like rip off the ticket that it's given until it just comes out and spits out a cake. Who even knows if it's for this table anymore or not? All you know is that those entrees are gone.
That's Mushnug.
Yeah, there you go. Would Trica or Darla like to do anything before the cake now comes out?
Can I put the wallet in the cake? Now, let me be clear.
Yeah.
An empty wallet. I'm not giving Brock the satisfaction of having his belongings. You're getting an empty, shitty, leathery old wallet that you probably inherited from like a thrift store, but didn't really want to admit that and lied and said it was like your grandfather's.
Yes.
So,
Oh, primo. You take that wallet and you start flinging out everything that Brock would
just
know and
flop
love.
across the
ID gone, credit card's gone, debit card gone, cash is raining all over the place wherever you've decided to like empty this wallet out. Like there's a picture of him in it because how much of a narcissist do you have to be to have your own picture in your wallet? That's gone too.
I would
Every
just
bit
like
of
to
it.
say that I, as you're doing this, grab the ID.
Yes.
I want to put that out there. I have the
takes
ID.
the ID. Everything else is like kind of just disposed of over in a corner, and you waddle yourself back to the kitchen. And as you see, kind of the pastry chef on staff finish up this chocolate lava situation. It's got like really beautiful chocolate ganache on top with like cherries and things, and a pile of whipped cream beside of it, and a little drizzle and everything. It's supposed to look very, very nice. And as he puts it up on the pass and dings the bell for someone to come get it, you just stick the wallet at the top. And the waiter comes by, looks extremely confused, like kind of looks at the ticket and looks at the cake and is like, okay. And he takes it, muttering to himself about some avant-garde bullshit with the wallet being stuck at the top of it. He's like, I work in too pretentious of a fucking restaurant. This is so goddamn stupid. But whatever, I guess. As he carries the cake out to the table and sets it down in between Marie and Brock. Marie looks confused. Brock looks first confused and then angry as he looks at the waiter and goes, can you do a single fucking thing right? Like your one job is to bring dishes from the kitchen and bring them out to the correct table. So either you put this in wrong and you brought us a cake first, or this cake was supposed to go somewhere else and you're still waiting on our fucking entrees before he looks down and sees his wallet in the top. And he takes it, picks it up, opens it, sees that it is completely empty, and then goes into the pocket that he was keeping the wallet in, which is the one that is rat free, and feels around, feels for no wallet, and then puts his hand in his other pocket, thinking that he has misplaced it, and picks up a rat. And he like picks up this mouse, the mouse just staring up at him, like little paws wrapped around a diamond ring, a fake diamond ring, but a diamond ring. And he screams bloody murder as he like throws the rat up in the air. The rat lands back on his shoulder and bites in like through his clothing. And Brock is just running around the restaurant screaming, this is a fucking rat. There's a fucking rat on my shoulder. You bought me a fucking cake. Where's my wallet? Where's my ring? Where's my stuff? You fucking thieves. And he's like just running in circles around the restaurant, not knowing what to do.
So at this point, as a hulking level 5 trickster, I have an ability called Master of Puppets. It requires 3 successes, but it allows me to take full command over a person by speaking aloud their true name. And since I have his ID,
you have his full government
I know his full government name.
And his height.
It is real height, which is not the 6'2" he says it is at all. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
please roll your successes.
I'm
Let's
gonna
see
roll
if you can
my
take over
dice.
Brock Petunia Whitehall. I would love that.
All right. I got I needed 3 and I got 4. I got 3 6s, a 5, and a 2. So I'm going to burn my last luck point to take away one of those successes so that I don't over succeed.
So that you don't over succeed.
Mwah.
Beautiful.
And you just hear it's like on the wind and it's so low. It almost like rattles some of the dishes. Just Brock, Petunia White. Aw. And just I really want him to go back to the table and take the lava cake and just throw it at the girl. That's the first thing I want to happen.
You, Darla and Mushnug, you all watch as he's like running around screaming all over the place. Everyone else in this restaurant is looking up at him like this man has lost his mind. And let's face it, he's had maybe the worst day of his life, which he fully deserved and more. As you all hear like a whisper on the wind, you see Trica say, Brock, Petunia, White. And as that final like syllable leaves Trica's mouth, it lingers in the wind. Like you can even see it carry through the room until it goes into Brock. Like he's breathing it in, inhaling those final words. And the minute he does, he goes still and silent. The waiters and the other staff in the room and even the other diners all look scared to approach him as he very slowly walks back to his table, picks up the lava cake with both hands, looks Marie dead in the eye, and just shoves it in her face. And you all see her like has like the chocolate ganache running down, like cherry is smeared all through here. It's like dripping down her white dress. Like everything is ruined. And he can do nothing else because right now Trica's in charge.
I think there's a lot of just like, I don't know if I could control their voice. It says full command. So I think there's a lot of just like kind of cry yelling like I'm incompetent and like I can do nothing and like kind of throwing themselves back and just really making a scene and like all dignity just out the window. And I think, I don't know how long this lasts, it does not specify, but I think Darla and Mushnug, you hear as Trica eventually lets go of this, just satisfied.
And after he's done with all of his crying and wailing, talking about how much of a failure he is and how he doesn't deserve his job and how he, is awful to service workers and literally all of those things, he just sort of collapses down in his seat. He looks spent. He looks like he's just run a marathon and he's just fully slumped over. Marie has not gotten up, has not said a word, has just had chocolate dripping down her for the past 10 minutes or so while he's done this. And every single diner has been silent, watching the show that they didn't know they were going to have with dinner before a manager comes over and just kind of slips the check on to the table in front of them and goes, I hope you two have a wonderful night, drive home, final conversation. I don't really know, but whatever this is, I just need you to take it out of here. Okay? And they walk away. As Brock, still not saying a word, takes the check, looks at it, looks at his empty wallet with nothing in it, crumples it up, throws it at Marie, and it sticks in the chocolate on her chest and kind of just lingers there. She looks down and looks up, flips him off, and walks out. Brock has no way to pay for this, but just sits slumped in silence until the waiter comes over and goes, Sir, would you like a napkin? You've got some chocolate on you. And he just goes, I once Sure, a napkin would be really, really great. And the waiter goes over, picks up a couple of napkins from where they're rolling other silverware and a box of tissues from behind the bar and just brings them over and goes, I think you need both of these. And Brock goes, yeah. And with that, I will ask, as we're sort of nearing the end of our time and things, do you, as the Cunning Folk, feel you have reached satisfaction, which marks the end of a game?
Darla, how are you feeling? Because I know Trila said satisfied, right? Trica.
You know, I think Darla feels ultimately satisfied.
I think Mushnug has one more thing that they want to try with their level 2. They want to try
Please
voice
do.
mimicry. That was so cool when you did it. Mushnug wants to give it a
that.
go. As Brock, let's see if I can just get the success. It takes 2 successes and I have 2 dice, so we're already probably not going to get it. But let's see.
That's okay.
So
We'll give
2
it a
and a 2. So just in Mushnug's own voice,
shot.
she shouts, "And get him an application. He needs a new job." And now she's satisfied.
Phenomenal. And as Mushnug's voice rings out in that, some waiter who does not know where the voice came from at all nods, goes and grabs an application and puts it down on the table in front of him, and you all pop away back to the bakery. You find out through the grapevine of people coming in and out of the bakery who have definitely heard of Brock, or have seen him be such a grade A dick when he's been in the bakery, tell the bakers kind of in gossip being like, yeah, heard he lost his job and they promoted his assistant to his place, like, and now he's a waiter down at LaBeouf, which is really weird. Apparently he's not waited tables since like high school, but he was like, I'm good enough at it, and they decided to give him a chance because they felt really bad. But I have a feeling he's not gonna last long there either, because it's super weird. Like, he's
Have to
just
work
really
off that check.
sad. Yeah, and he is really sad when he's your waiter. Like, it's like if a depressed clown was your waiter at a very expensive steak restaurant. It's really depressing and troubling in so many ways. But yeah, like, it's fine. Thanks for the coffee, by the way. And James like smiles and nods along. It's the one day you ever hear Barbara say anything positive before 8 a.m. As from the back, she's heard everything and she goes, hell fucking yeah. And that's where we're gonna cut it, with you all being all cozy in your little bakery. Brock Whitehall getting the comeuppance he deserves. Marie Morgan getting a bit of the comeuppance she deserves as well. Hopefully now she'll learn marrying for love is much better than marrying for money, especially when that money belongs to a dickwad. And with that, I'm done with the Cunning Folk. We finished.
It did it! We ruined his life, you guys. Yay!
And it was so satisfying. And I truly think it's maybe a little bit of what the world needed right now. So
And clearly he needed to work in food service more.
yes, he did.
Clearly.
So learn how to treat people kindly. So anybody in chat that would like to enter into the giveaway at the last minute, tell me what you would have done to Brock to ruin his life. Or what you would do to anyone as the Cunning Folk to ruin their life. Because remember, the Cunning Folk only take revenge on those that have slighted them in some way, have offended them. And so that is why Brock got what he deserved. And while you're doing that, if anybody does want to enter last minute, I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves one more time, kind of do your outro, tell people who you are and where they can find you and all of those things. And then we'll do the giveaway real quick, and then we'll be wrapped up and out. Be so good. We're keeping it a tight show today, everybody. And we'll go in reverse order this time, which means Jess gets to go first.
Hey, I'm first. Yeah, I'm Jess Prince, also known as Jessamyn Prince, also known as Miss Prince Plays. That is my internet handle. I do live plays. I've been on Hazards and Hijinks as well as Dungeness Dorks and some other random one-off things that if you're very intrepid, you might find. And I'm just delighted to be part of this amazing community. And I love building characters and getting to play them with other amazing people. And I love the collaborative storytelling that we do here. So yeah, if you love all that stuff too and you want to see me do more of it, you definitely go follow me and follow all of them because I only shine because I am around all of these beautiful lights. Look at that. Hey.
Aww. Deejay, your turn.
Awesome. Hi everyone. I'm Deejay. You can find me anywhere on social media at Castle Rights. And if you ever want to catch anything that I do produce where I'm not in front of the camera, you can catch out my show Hit Point Hall on YouTube at Emerson Channel. And yeah, it was always really fun popping into other people's shows and doing my worst. So yeah.
It was an amazing, amazing time. And Heather.
Yeah, this was super fun. So you can find me at worldsforall.com. Again, that's the number 4, or at Worlds for All on Instagram and Blue Sky. I'm Massachusetts based and run a lot of games in person through my company. But you can also find me at PAX East and Gen Con running games coming up this year. And I have a few campaigns on Start Playing as well. So yeah, would love to have you play with me.
Yay! And then there's me. Hi, I'm Mallorie. I'm in charge of everyone and everything else when it comes to a game, and I happen to run this place. For better or for worse, I've got the keys, and so people are stuck with me now. Thank you all so much for coming in tonight. It's meant the world. I have really wanted to run this basically since I've had my first copy of the Cunning Folk, which was way back when. And I've just been so proud of Emily every step of the way, so it meant a lot to be able to run this and get to show off all of the hard work that she did on everything. And awesome for like a successful Kickstarter. Everything was super well. It was fully funded, which is awesome. And some people were able to pledge at the community copy tier. So if you weren't able to get your Kickstarter in, definitely when everything like comes out and stuff, grab one of those Kickstarter community copies because it is such a fun game to play. Very simple. You can literally throw something together immediately. There are no big choices to make. You pick an archetype, you kind of just go with it. And as a GM, you only need a couple of things to make NPCs. You need their deepest desire and their deepest fear. And that's all you take with you. And you just go, go, go. It's so much fun. And I had the time of my life. I did go ahead and run the giveaway on the Wheel of Names. And Levi, aka Mr. From Chat, according to Fox, which was one of my favorite jokes on Sunday's morning ritual, was hey there, Mr. From Chat. So Levi, I will be in touch with you about how to get you that copy because Emily is going to send a thing to me about it and I will send that over to you. So don't you worry, within the next couple of days we'll get that over. And that's about it. If you are new here and you liked what you saw tonight, please feel free to hit the follow button. We have a lot of fun shows coming up. I had the day off work unexpectedly and was working on graphics for my next 4 shows. They are fully like all in the tank. They're getting made and I'm so excited about them. And the very first of those 4 shows is called Human Error. It is a sci-fi psychological thriller set in the near future. And it has at least one cast member that you will definitely recognize on it. That much I can promise. That is going to be going live the week of May 21st. Figuring out the exact scheduling for it, but sometime that week, because the week before that is my birthday, and me and a bunch of friends are going to come on here and play games and shoot the shit and stuff to celebrate my turning 27, surviving another year in this dumpster fire of an earth. And then we'll come back, we'll do more tabletop stuff. And if you thought you'd seen me run horror before, just wait. So many fun things coming up, and so many fun things that aren't horror if horror is not your jam. But in the meantime, please love yourself, take care of each other, go have a super magical adventure, and we'll see you back here next time. See y'all later. Bye. Bye.